Hi guys, welcome back to eCoreAcademy. My name is Aastha Kulkarni and I'm the English 1 teacher at this platform. Basically, I teach grammar, reading, and writing, and so far I've only done grammar videos, and this is my first writing video, in which we are going to be following MLA Format. So I'll be going over what MLA Format is, what all is included in MLA Format, and then how to implement it and what the final result should look like. So if you are interested in that, please stick around and I will be going over all of that. Before I get started, I just want to quickly mention that if you are enjoying eCoreAcademy's content and you think that it's helping you or a friend or a family member out, I really suggest that you should subscribe down below and also share with friends and family that you think may benefit. Let's get started now. So what is MLA Format? MLA Format specifies guidelines for writing a formatting written works. So whenever you need to format a written works, which is usually like a paper or an essay or something like that, these are the guidelines that you have to use. And they're very specific and followed by a lot of people, which is why we need to learn how to do them. Usually, in most cases, teachers will actually put MLA Format as like a category on their rubric, which you would get points for. And MLA Format is a really simple thing to do, so it's a shame if you would lose points for that, which is why you should know how to do it, so that way it's easy points on your paper. MLA Format builds credibility and it prevents plagiarism. It's usually required for everything in high school and onwards, so I don't know about you guys, but in my middle school and elementary school, we didn't really have MLA Format. High school is really when we started to use it, and we use it for everything, which is why it's really important to know how to do it properly. And the most current MLA that we are using is the 8th edition MLA, which was published in 2016. And you can actually search up MLA Handbook 8th edition and read like all the super specific MLA rules, but I'm just going to be going over the basic things you need to know how to format a paper for, a simple high school class. So what is required to make a document MLA formatted? I am going to quickly run through this list, and then I'm actually going to be doing a live kind of run through with you guys so you guys can see how to do all of these bullet points listed and how it should look at the end. So these are what you need. You need white paper, which is 8.5 inches by 11 inches. The text should be double-spaced throughout. It should almost always be double-spaced unless you are doing something like an annotated bibliography where the annotations would be single-spaced. You need a legible font, obviously. The most used one is Times New Roman. Sometimes Arial is used, but Times New Roman is the most common one. Font size should be 12 point. Again, sometimes teachers will allow 11 points. That's usually if you have to fit something into a page limit, but 12 point is the most common. Margins should be 1 inch all around. The title should be centered, and you should have a proper heading and header, which I will show you what it is and how to do it. So now let's hop on over to Google Docs, and I will explain how to do all of this. So now we are in Google Docs. I chose Google Docs because I personally think that it's the easiest website or app to like type your papers on and stuff. I know people use Microsoft Word, Pages, anything like that, but I'm going to be doing this tutorial on Google Docs because I found throughout my high school that most people tend to use Google Docs to kind of consolidate everything because most people use Google. So I'll be doing this on Google Docs, but if you are more comfortable with Word or Pages, you can still follow along with this tutorial. Most things are labeled with the same tabs and the same buttons and everything like that, so it should be relatively the same. So let's get started with formatting this document. First off, I'm just going to label this something simple. We can just call it eCore MLA Format Doc. So the first things first, this is almost always pre-formatted, but just to double check and show you where to check, we want to make sure that our paper size is correct and our margin size is correct. So to do that, you can go into File and let me just move myself really quickly. We can go to File and Page Setup, where we can see all of the options. So as I mentioned, you want to have 8.5 inches by 11 inches. So as you can see, that's the default. And then the margins are also default. It may be a good idea to just double check this before, because sometimes, you know, it's technology, something can happen, it can change. So kind of just check through this before to make sure you don't lose unnecessary points on anything. So as you can see, that's all good. So let's move on to the heading. The heading is going to be on the left corner of your paper, and it's going to include your name, your teacher's name, the course name, and the date. So first, you are going to write your name. So I'm just going to use my name for that. And then next up comes your teacher's name or your professor's name, whoever. I'm just going to use Mr. Smith. And then we have the course. Of course, this is English 1, so we'll be using English 1. And then we have the date. Many people get confused on which date to put, because if they start working on an essay a week before it's due, they'll put that date. That is actually incorrect. You always want to put the date of when the assignment is due. So if you're working on something on May 5th and it's due on May 10th, you want to write May 10th. Don't write May 5th. So also, when you write the date, it's not going to be like that. There's a certain MLA way you want to write it. So you write the day number first, and then you write the month in its entirety, and then you write the year. So 10 May 2021. And now we want to center the title. Again, I'm just going to click the center and then just write the same thing that I did for the title of the actual doc. Usually that's how you would do it. If you titled your doc this, you would title your actual paper that too. So you might be looking at this thinking, that doesn't look right. That's because I haven't done the correct font or the correct size. I usually like to type it all out first, and then you can just highlight everything and change it. But if you want to change it first, that's fine as well. So I'm just going to highlight everything and make the font size 12, because that's the proper font size. And then we're going to click Times New Roman. As you can see, that's in my recents because that's the only font I use for writing papers and everything like that. So there we go. Now, let's talk about the header. The header goes in the top right corner, and it includes your last name and the page number. So page number as in if you have multiple pages of an essay, it would say, if I use my last name, it would be Kulkarni 1, Kulkarni 2, and it changes for the page. But first we have to set that up. So you are going to go to Format in Google Docs, of course, and then there's a thing called page numbers. You can just click on that. And then all of the details that are selected here are the default, and that's usually always right. It should start at 1, and it should be in the header, not the footer. The footer is the bottom of the paper, the header is the top of the paper. So we want it in the header. So as you can see, the little 1 shows up here. So I'm just going to place my cursor in front of that and then add my last name. And as you can see, it looks different from the rest of this. That's because headers aren't formatted with the rest of your paper, so you have to go ahead and format it separately. So I'm simply just going to increase the font to 12 and change it to Times New Roman. So now we have our header. So we have our paper size done, we have our margin size done, we have our font size done, the title is centered, and we have our proper heading and header. So all we are missing is the double-spaced text throughout. So in order to double space, you simply highlight everything, you go to Format, Line Spacing, and hit double. So as you can see, everything has like an extra line of wording in between each one. So as you can see, it's pretty much that simple. I'm going to space all the way down to the next page so you can see how the heading works. As you can see, the second page number showed up. I didn't have to do anything. It's just automatically formatted like that. So this is MLA format. I mean, we have our heading here, we have our header here, centered title, 1-inch margins, 8.5 inches by 11 inches paper. Everything is double spaced. That's pretty much it. It's super simple, and it's something that you're going to need to know how to do a lot. So just get into the habit of anytime you write something, even if it isn't something that you turn in, just, do MLA format on it so you get the hang of it. Because when I first did MLA format, I always had to reference this piece of paper I had with all the rules, but now it's just super easy for me to quickly type out. So again, just to reiterate the heading, it's going to have your first name, your teacher's name or professor's name, the course name, and then the date. And remember, the date is written as the number, the month, and then the year. And then the heading is your last name and page number. Well, let's head back to the e-chalkboard to finish up this lesson. So I hope you guys enjoyed that live run-through on Google Docs. I hope that cleared up any questions on how MLA formatting should look, how to do your header, how to do your heading, all of that. So I really hope this helped. And as always, I would like to thank you guys for watching my video. And again, if you are liking our content, you should totally check out all of our socials. We have a Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, you name it. If you have any questions, email us at eCoreAcademy@gmail.com, and you should totally check out our website for more interactive features. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.